Hi all, this is Natasha McLaughlin-Chaisson, registered dietitian specialized in sports and performance out of NMC Nutrition. So as you can see, I'm home, as most of you are, amidst this pandemic, and with all the social distancing and the shutting downs of the gyms, the rinks, and the pools, among others, many clients, many athletes have been asking how are they going to protect their muscle mass and reduce risk of body fat gain. So I'm here to talk about the do's and don'ts nutritionally in terms of protecting that muscle mass and reducing that body fat. First off, let's start with the don'ts. So don't skip meals. Although you may want to skip even snacks, it's not the right way to go about it, okay? We do need to protect the existing muscle mass. We also don't want to bring about severe cravings where you finish by over-consuming. You also don't want to remove large groups or severely restrict from your diet. So going low carb or completely taking out the fat is not the way to go about it either. This can again increase the cravings, and you have to remember that just because you are an athlete who may be training less, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden your metabolism has severely reduced in speed as if you were all of a sudden 95 years old, okay? So what do? We want to make sure that you're eating about 6 times a day, and you're making sure that you're having protein each one of those times. So as you remember from my video on plant-based proteins, you do want to be consuming about 20 grams of protein each one of those times if we want to protect muscle mass specifically. And so we're calculating this at about 0.3 grams of protein per kilo body weight that you weigh. We want to make sure that the meal size is slightly reduced in doing so, and so we're tapering training, meaning that we're treating it the way you would if you were to taper for a competition. Swimmers will taper for meets regularly because they are training in higher intensities than what we're doing for meets, and so most of you know how to taper when you're looking at a competition. So we do it about the same way if you do taper for competition. So for those of you hockey players, soccer players that may not taper, this is a bit of a new approach for you. So the easy way to do it is you're about 25% reduction in your meal sizes. So for example, if you're used to having a cup and a half of quinoa or of pasta or even 2 cups on a regular day at your meal, then you may reduce that to about a cup, maybe half a cup, depending on your height, your weight, your goals, obviously, and how much you are training at the moment. So you want to make sure to also be hungry every 3 hours. So although I'm saying you need to eat every 3 hours, you don't want to just eat because you're being told to, but you want to make sure that your appetite is telling you that it needs it. So if 3 hours occur and you are not hungry, you may have overconsumed at the prior meal. So make sure to try to adapt your food according to your appetite in that way. You also want to make sure to continue consuming the whole grains. The amounts of fiber will help you stay fuller longer and will protect your muscle mass. And the antioxidants from the fruit and vegetables will also protect your muscle mass. We want to make sure to also eat mindfully. And with March being Nutrition Month, this is a great time to talk about it. So most of us will be in a rush, and of course we're home, we have access to food during the day, and we may not be paying attention to what we're consuming or savoring it. So I want you to first off sit down with your food. I want you to put your food in a plate, and I do want you to make sure you don't have a screen in front of you. So no phone, no television, no computer. And this is a great opportunity to start having conversations. You're at home with family, which may not happen often depending on what your usual training schedule is and your work schedule and so on. So take the opportunity to have more family meals, to have more discussions. And if you're home by yourself, just take that opportunity to really savor your food and enjoy it so that you're eating mindfully and not mindlessly, which can lead to body fat gains as well. So throughout all of this, my question that I'm also getting is, will I still be taking appointments throughout this pandemic? So virtual and telephone consultations will continue throughout, although the in-person appointments may be limited or stopped. So if you have any other questions, feel free to post them, and I enjoy answering your questions. Again, remember that nutrition is a science, not an opinion.